Imagine you have like $1 million in cash sitting around.
Right, just lying around.
Yeah, exactly. But it's from illegal drug sales or maybe a massive cyber ransomware attack.
Okay, so highly illicit funds.
Right. So how do you actually get that money into the legitimate banking system without, the authorities immediately kicking down your door?
Well, you certainly don't just walk into a retail bank branch with a giant duffel bag of cash.
No, definitely not. Instead, you take it to a roulette table or a high-stakes online poker room, maybe a digital sports book.
Oh, absolutely. The intersection of global capital and digital gaming is, it's arguably the most complex battleground in modern finance right now.
It really is. And today, we're taking a deep dive into this invisible, incredibly high-stakes war.
It's a war between international financial criminals and the people who are specifically trained to stop them.
Which brings us to our mission for today's deep dive. Because we've got our hands on the official documentation and the syllabus for a very specific, highly regarded professional certification.
Right, the ICA Specialist Certificate in Money Laundering Risk in Betting and Gaming.
Exactly. And just to be clear for everyone listening, we aren't looking at the entry-level basics today.
No, not at all.
This is the level 2 specialist tier. We're going to decode the syllabus to figure out exactly how the global financial system trains its frontline defenders.
The analysts and managers hunting down criminal money flowing through the entire gaming ecosystem.
Yeah. And before we get into the weeds, we should probably establish the gravity of the source material, right?
We definitely should. This certification isn't just some weekend online seminar. It's awarded in association with Alliance Manchester Business School.
At the University of Manchester.
Right. It's serious business. The target audience here consists of senior officers, compliance analysts, managers, people working heavily in FinCrime.
And like KYC and customer due diligence, right?
Exactly. These are the people building the curriculum for the frontline workers who are literally holding the line against catastrophic regulatory failures.
Not to mention massive cartel laundering operations.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to understand how to actually build the defense, we first have to map the scale of the battlefield.
Right, which takes us right into the first sections of the syllabus.
Yeah, the initial modules dive straight into the gambling market, a summary, and money laundering risks in gambling. And honestly, the sheer dizzying global scale of this issue hit me the absolute second I looked at the course enrollment page.
Oh, the location drop-down menu?
Yes. The location menu for this course literally spans from Afghanistan to Zimbabwe.
It covers everything.
It really does. It encompasses every territory from the Allen Islands to Wallis and Futuna.
And that exhaustive list of territories, it actually reveals the core architectural vulnerability of the entire gaming industry.
How so?
Well, money laundering in this space doesn't respect physical borders at all.
Right.
A betting platform might be licensed in one obscure jurisdiction, right? Just to take advantage of specific regulatory loopholes.
Sure.
But then the servers might be hosted in a totally different territory.
Oh, wow.
On the player. They could be using a VPN routed through a third country, while the actual fiat currency originates from a shell company in a fourth.
So it's just a geographical nightmare for regulators.
Completely. Level 2 defenders have to be trained to interpret a genuinely borderless map. They're constantly looking at corporate structures that are designed specifically to obscure where the funds come from.
That really changes the entire paradigm of how we think about cleaning money,
How do you usually picture it?
Well, I used to picture money laundering as trying to, merge dirty cars onto a massive high-speed international highway.
Right, just hoping to blend in with the legitimate traffic.
Exactly. But based on the complexity of these gaming platforms, it's not like that at all. It's more akin to fundamentally changing the chemical state of the money.
That's a great way to put it.
It's like turning dirty ice into clean water. You take 100 grand of illicit funds, deposit it, play a few hands, and then cash out 95,000.
And the platform hands you a perfectly legitimate payout receipt.
Right. You didn't just blend in. You completely transformed the money from unexplained cash to provable, taxable casino winnings.
What's fascinating here is why the betting industry is such a prime target for that chemical transformation.
Because of the speed.
Exactly. Betting inherently involves a massive volume of incredibly fast, volatile transactions. A launderer relies on that velocity for camouflage.
Which is why a generic anti-money laundering course just isn't enough.
Not even close. A standard AML program completely fails in this environment. You need a specialized level 2 deep dive because the mechanics go way deeper than just depositing and withdrawing.
Right, like that chip dumping thing in online poker. I was reading about that in the materials, and it is wild.
Oh, it's a fascinating mechanism.
So for you listening, you have player A, who has the dirty money, and they sit at a digital poker table with player B.
Who's part of the exact same criminal syndicate.
Right, but player B has a clean, established account. So player A bets heavily and just intentionally folds winning hands to player B. And to the algorithm, it just looks like player A is a terrible poker player having a genuinely awful night.
But in reality, they just successfully transferred tens of thousands of dollars of dirty money to a clean account in, like, 10 minutes.
It's brilliant in a highly illegal way.
It is. Chip dumping is a classic example of intra-platform transferring. But the syllabus also pushes analysts to look at external markets.
Like sports books.
Precisely. Say a launderer takes $50,000 of illicit funds. They place it on Team X to win a match on Platform A.
Okay.
Simultaneously, they take another $50,000 and place it on Team Y to win the exact same match, but on Platform B.
Wait, so they're betting on both possible outcomes of the exact same event?
Yes. They are mathematically guaranteeing a loss on the bookmaker's cut.
Right.
But they don't care about the small loss. They are purchasing the illusion of legitimacy.
Because one of those bets is mathematically guaranteed to win.
Exactly. Let's say they walk away with $95,000 on Platform B. They just absorb the $5,000 loss as the cost of doing business.
Wow. And the real prize is that pristine, verifiable payout receipt from Platform B.
And a generic bank AML system would never, ever catch that.
Because the retail bank only sees clean money coming in from a highly regulated sports book.
Exactly.
Which means the gaming platform itself has to be the one to catch it. They have to stop it before the money ever gets near the retail banking system.
That's the challenge.
And that leads us directly into the solution modules of the syllabus. How do these professionals actually build a defense against tactics that are specifically designed to look exactly like normal gambling?
Well, you look at the syllabus, and it explicitly focuses on mitigation and AML in operation.
Right. But interestingly, the one that really stood out to me focuses on risk-based approach, culture, and governance.
Ah, yes. That triad risk, culture, and governance is the absolute foundation of modern FinCrime defense.
See, I have to push back on that a bit. Because when we talk about stopping international financial crime, my mind immediately goes to strict, rigid rules.
Algorithms and hard data.
Exactly. If I'm a federal regulator or an auditor coming in because a cartel just washed $20 million through a sports book, I do not care about the company's internal vibe.
I know, you want the math.
Yeah. Why is a soft word like culture sitting next to anti-money laundering in operation? How does trusting your gut hold up in a brutal legal audit?
That's a great question. And for you listening, this is really the core of modern compliance. The reality is a strict, rigid checklist is actually a sophisticated criminal's best friend.
Wait, really? Why?
Because if you rely solely on hard, static rules, you're providing a literal blueprint for how to evade them.
Oh, I see.
Let's say your governance dictates a hard rule. Automatically freeze any account that deposits more than $10,000 in a 24-hour period.
Then the launderers just deposit $9,999.
Over and over again, yeah. It's called structuring or smurfing.
Smurfing.
Yeah. They will reverse engineer your hard rules and engineer their behavior to fly 1 millimeter below the radar.
That makes total sense.
This is exactly why the syllabus mandates a risk-based approach. You simply can't monitor every single penny of the millions of dollars flowing through a platform with the exact same intensity.
Because you'd need an infinite workforce, right? It would just grind legitimate business to a halt.
Exactly. A risk-based approach means you dynamically assess which products, which global regions, and which specific behavioral patterns pose the highest threat. And then you heavily concentrate your resources right there.
Okay, so the algorithm does the heavy lifting of sorting the baseline risk.
Right.
But the human element, the culture, is what actually empowers employees to hunt the anomalies.
Yes. And to do that effectively, you have to train your analysts to differentiate between the psychology of a gambler and the psychology of a launderer.
Oh, that's interesting.
This is where a strong corporate culture becomes a deeply operational asset. Think about a high-rolling VIP gambler. They're erratic, right?
Oh, yeah. They chase losses. Their bet sizing is super emotional.
Exactly. They engage with the entertainment value of the platform.
Yeah.
But a money launderer, They are incredibly risk-averse.
Right. They aren't there to gamble. They are just there to execute a financial transaction.
Exactly.
They want to expose their capital to the absolute minimum amount of risk required to generate that clean payout receipt.
And that is exactly the behavior a trained analyst is looking for. Safe bets, heavily structured deposits, a complete lack of emotional volatility in the betting pattern.
And probably an immediate withdrawal request the second a minor threshold is met.
Yes. Now, an algorithm might look at that user and just see a low-risk, compliant customer who never triggers a high-dollar threshold.
Because they never break the rigid rules.
Right. But a human analyst, empowered by a strong compliance culture to look deeper. They see a mechanical, calculated washing operation.
Wow.
Culture dictates whether that analyst is incentivized to ignore it because it didn't tick a box on a checklist, or raise a massive red flag because the behavior lacks the fundamental psychology of a real user.
It's the difference between passive compliance and active defense.
Exactly.
I mean, if you are just checking IDs at the door, you're going to miss the actual crime happening on the casino floor.
You absolutely will.
And that shifts our focus to the ecosystem of the FinCrime fighter, because becoming the specialized hunter requires a really intense commitment.
It really does. The source material lays it out very clearly.
Yeah, if you pass this, you get the spec.cert AML gaming designation, and it grants 20 ICA CPD hours.
Which are continuing professional development hours, crucial for maintaining your standing in the sector.
Right, and it's a significant financial investment, too. The documentation breaks down the base course fees. It's about 730 GBP, 803 EUR, or 949 USD.
It's not cheap.
No, but the interesting part is the structural requirements surrounding that fee, because you can't just buy the course, read a PDF, take a test, and walk away.
No, you can't go it alone.
Exactly. The syllabus explicitly states that you must be an active member of the International Compliance Association. If you aren't, a 12-month membership is automatically added to your cart.
Right, which drops another 185 GBP or 204 EUR or 241 USD onto the bill.
Yeah.
But if we connect this to the bigger picture, that mandatory membership actually reveals the true value of the broader ecosystem.
How do you mean?
Well, a static course, no matter how detailed it is effectively obsolete the moment it's published.
Because the criminals change their tactics.
Exactly. The syndicates pivot their methodologies daily. So by forcing learners into an active ecosystem, the ICA is building a continuous intelligence network.
Which makes sense, because the source mentions that this membership drops you into an international community of over 30,000 members.
Right.
You get access to the ICA Learning Hub and weekly webinars. It's not just a course, it's an ongoing education, because money laundering isn't static, so the training can't be either.
The exam just proves you understand the baseline. The real value is access to the real-time threat-sharing network of those 30,000 peers.
Right.
When a new laundering topology hits a sports book in Eastern Europe on a Tuesday, an analyst in North America needs to be reading about it on the Learning Hub by Thursday.
It really is a living defense network.
Yeah.
Although, looking through the course materials, I did find this wonderfully human, hyper-specific quirk that cuts right through all the corporate jargon.
Oh, what was that?
So the official course format states very confidently that you have access for up to 2 months. It projects this very tight, optimized timeline.
A standard, rigid corporate training window.
Right. But literally right below that strict 2-month policy, they feature a testimonial from a past student praising the course.
Okay.
And the student writes that they liked the flexibility of being able to study and take the exam within the 3-month window.
Oh, that's hilarious. The reality of the job bleeding into the training.
Right. It's entirely relatable. You have these brilliant analysts working brutal hours, tracking international syndicates, and even they need to ask the professor for an extension on their homework.
It really humanizes the defenders.
Yeah.
You know? They are real people balancing an exhausting day job with the mandatory requirement to constantly upgrade their skills.
Exactly. And this constant need for updated training leads us directly to the final part of the syllabus.
Right, the active horizon of the industry.
Yeah, the final syllabus module is Market Outlook, New Products, Risk, and Legislation. And here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because the source material we are looking at is a live web page, and it visually demonstrates the urgency of this market outlook. There is literally a promotional countdown timer ticking down the days, hours, minutes, and seconds on the screen.
Wow. ticking away right next to the syllabus.
Yeah, it's counting down until the early bird rate ends, saving you up to £100 for the upcoming ICA Future of FinCrime and Compliance Summit.
That is incredibly symbolic of the environment they operate in. A literal ticking clock.
It creates such a visceral sense of pressure. And they list this massive scope of future events, too, like the ICA Compliance Awards Europe 2026 and the ICA FinCrime and Banking Forum.
They aren't just selling a certification. They are selling the absolute necessity to constantly look forward.
Right.
And this raises an important question for you listening. When a Level 2 syllabus dedicates an entire module to new products in gaming, what are they actually preparing for?
I mean, we're way past the era of just like new slot machine graphics, right?
Oh, absolutely. New products means the fundamental evolution of the betting architecture. As betting evolves with new apps and digital products, the risks evolve instantly.
Like integrating digital currencies or virtual reality environments.
Exactly.
Or micro betting. That seems like a massive vulnerability to me.
It is a huge one.
Because we aren't just betting on who wins a football game anymore. Users are betting on the outcome of the very next pitch in a baseball game or the next serve in a tennis match. You can have hundreds of transactions occurring from a single user within an hour. How does an analyst flag a structured money laundering scheme when the legitimate product is literally designed to make thousands of tiny, rapid-fire transactions?
It's the perfect camouflage for smurfing.
Exactly.
And that is the exact nightmare scenario a risk-based approach is designed to tackle. Every single time a gaming company invents a frictionless, fun, new digital product, they inadvertently hand criminal syndicates a brand new tool to exploit.
The launderers just immediately probe that new product to find the seams?
They reverse engineer the fun.
Wow.
They do. And then the legislation, the gaming commissions and federal regulators, they're in a constant race to catch up to the criminals.
While the compliance professionals have to rapidly adapt their internal culture to comply with the new legislation and fight the new tactics at the same time.
It is an unending, deeply asymmetric race. The criminals only have to find one loophole. The defenders have to secure every single endpoint.
Which is exactly why the summits and continuous forums are heavily promoted right alongside the certification.
Exactly. It's a live radar feed for a war that never stops.
So what does this all mean? When we pull all of this together, it just confirms that fighting financial crime is a highly dynamic, fast-paced career.
It is definitely not a dusty back-office accounting job.
Not at all. You aren't just staring at static spreadsheets. To be effective here, you have to have the analytical mind of a data scientist, understand the psychology of a compulsive gambler, and anticipate the tactical innovations of a criminal syndicate.
All while navigating international regulatory legislation.
Simultaneously. It's wild. Which brings us to the end of today's deep dive. We started by looking at a single web page for a certification course.
Right, the ICA Specialist Certificate.
But by decoding that syllabus, we've revealed a massive global shadow war. It's criminals trying to wash dirty money through the borderless high-speed betting market, going up against highly trained, culturally aware compliance professionals armed with risk-based approaches.
It really alters how you view the intersection of money and entertainment.
It does.
And for you listening, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over regarding that constant arms race of new products.
Okay.
Think about the next time you open a sports betting app or a gaming site, and you notice a seemingly harmless, fun new feature.
Like a new way to instantly transfer funds to a friend, or a novel micro-betting mechanic.
Right. While you might just see a fun new way to play, an entire underworld of money launderers is immediately analyzing that exact feature for vulnerabilities.
Looking for the exploit.
Exactly. And somewhere else across the globe, an ICA-certified professional is simultaneously racing to build the invisible defenses to stop them.
Wow.
So the question you have to ask yourself is, who do you think adapts faster?
That is a brilliant and kind of terrifying question to end on. It's a great reminder of the massive invisible machinery operating just below the surface of our digital lives. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the hidden mechanics of global finance. And as always, keep questioning the world around you.